we're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive.
I don't think anybody in my circle understands impossible. Hi, I'm Chris James. You're watching Healthy Alternative, and today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind recently. It's basically this idea that when you're at your lowest of the low, I have talked to so many and interact with so many people when they feel like they're at the bottom of the bottom, they think that the only way up is through their own willpower, through their own intelligence, or through their own ability. I don't care if you are a freaking rocket scientist. When you are at the lowest of your low, you need community. You need support. You need guidance. You need clarity. When I have something going on in my life, especially as it relates to health and wellness, whether it's me personally or someone close to me, like someone that I really care about, I don't personally want to be the only person working towards a solution for that problem, because you get emotionally involved. It's very important that you have a support system, someone outside of yourself that can look at the situation with a clear head and say, hey man, did you ever consider this? I can't tell you guys how many times I've been going over a family member, a very close family member's issue, wellness issue, and I'm just like I'm a little frazzled. I'm a little frazzled, and I'm not thinking straight, and I'm not clear in what I think the decision should be, right? And I'm talking to somebody else, maybe one of my coaches or one of my colleagues, about the situation, and through that conversation they're like, well, have you tried this? Have you suggested that? And I'm like, duh, why didn't I think of that? Well, the reason why I didn't think of it is because I'm a human being. And when you're too close to a situation, sometimes you're not the best person to evaluate what's the clear answer out of that. That's the reason why even men who are seen as leaders or alphas or whatever, they have a wolf pack. They got a group of people they can go to and be like, hey, this is what's going on, y'all. What do you think? If you don't have a sounding board, somebody to bounce ideas or situations off of, not just any old sounding board, somebody that can resonate back a good advice. If you don't have that in your life, that is something you should be seeking. Like, what we're constantly looking for husbands, we're constantly looking for wives, we're constantly looking for comfort pets, dogs, cats, plants. There's all these things that we are attract because of our emotional irregularity, right? If we feel lonely, we want to have a spouse. We feel bored, we want to have a best friend. You have a lot of anxiety, so you want a pet or something, or a plant, right? But I never hear people talking about, man, I'm looking for that individual that is going to give it to me raw, right? When something's not going right in my life, I can be like, look at what's going on in my life. What do you think about it? And they're going to be like, look, you're messing up. And here's where I think you can improve. And not just say those words, but actually mean them and give you good, solid advice. Do you know how rare it is to have somebody in your life who can not only just listen, right? Because a lot of times you go to somebody with a problem and they're not even going to listen. They're just going to respond. So not only are they able to listen to you, but then they're able to give good feedback and give you good advice. Why is it that we don't seek out those types of people in our life? Historically, it would probably be your spouse or maybe one of your parents or maybe your best friend. But I know in modern times, relationships are very fractured and people don't really have that automatically like maybe we used to. I mean, I don't know. I only know what I've experienced. And so just the same way that you go and you seek a mate, I think it's important to go and seek somebody who can mentor you. And I mean, I think that's essentially what we're talking about here, is everyone should have a mentor. And someone who mentors you doesn't mean that they're above you or that they're better than you or whatever. It's usually just that they have a little bit of experience in an area that you're unfamiliar with, or they have a level head where they can give you advice when when you're not emotionally stable. You know? Now, sometimes mentors do know more than you, and sometimes mentors are better than you. It just depends on where you are in your life. I know a lot of people think, oh, Chris, no one's better than anybody else. Da, 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 da. Listen, I am not a politically correct person. So if you're expecting me to say what's politically correct, you got to go somewhere else. Some people are better than you, and you are better than some people. And I'm going to tell you why. We all have the capacity to be great, but everybody doesn't live in that greatness. There are those of us who choose to live a life of mediocrity. There are those of us who choose the easy way out. There are those of us who choose to not fully apply ourselves. We want to get by the skin of our teeth. So how can you say somebody like that is better than or equal to someone who works to the bone? Someone who is constantly putting in effort. Someone who's always looking to grow, has a growth mindset. They are not the same, okay? Are we all equal in the sense that we're human beings? Sure. Okay? There's certain levels to how we are the same. But then when it comes to society and how sometimes there are people, how is it that there is a man or a woman in your community that actively works with children, empowering them, teaching them, enriching them, giving them opportunities, right? And then you have the other guy or the other girl that's on the street corner doing whatever guys or girls do on the street corner, maybe trying to draw children in and lead them down a dark path. And you telling me that those people are equal. They're having completely different effects on society. That's not even the point of this rant. That has nothing to do with the main topic. I guess I got a little off. The reality is, sometimes we need to seek somebody who knows more than us. Now, there's two parts to this. And this is something that in my personal life, I've always had a major issue with. Okay. I love growing. I love learning. I like to put myself in other people's shoes. I have a level of empathy. And so when people come to me with their problems, I do my best to convey a balanced solution and an overall balanced picture. Just because you're my friend, I'm not going to sweeten it up for you, or just because you're my enemy, I'm not going to taint it. If you are willing to come to me with issues and things that you've got going on, I'm going to do my best to aid you, because that's just, I feel like that's my job. Like, I've always felt like I was here to help people. So if I think I can, I will. One of the things that I've never been able to rectify in friendships is when I have a friend or somebody who's close to me and they come to me with a problem and I give them a solution to their problem. Okay? Because, we could arbitrarily say, oh, you never really know if it's going to work out. Okay, cool. We could play the what if game all day long. But for every problem, there's a solution. Somebody has the solution. Are you going to this person because you just want to vent? Or are you going to this person because, you just want someone to feel sorry for you? Or are you going to this person because you want them to tell you what you want to hear, which is probably not the solution? Probably not. Or are you going to them in good faith saying, hey, here's my cards. How do you think I should play them? Because if you're going to go to somebody and ask them, hey, what's your advice on how I should play this hand I was dealt? You need to be willing to listen and apply if they're giving you good advice. And most of us can tell when we're getting sound advice. Most of us can tell when someone's not telling us necessarily what we want to hear, but what we need to hear. Most of us have that level of discernment. Okay? So what I can't rectify is when people come to me and they ask me for advice and then they don't take the advice that I give them. That's one of the things that, like, if you want to be in my life on a consistent basis, like, over a long duration of time, you got to be able to take good advice. And I'm not saying that I'm going to give you the best advice every time. That's not my point. My point is it comes with a mentality. I like the mentality of a person who's willing to say, I don't know it all. I'm in this mess right now. I don't know how to get out, and I'm going to seek counsel. I like the mentality that comes with people that are like that. And I even more like the mentality of a person who's willing to apply good advice. That's just top of the top this is just how I value friendships or people in my life, right? So you guys watch the content, right? I just released the 80 and 90 challenge. It is a program that's designed to take you from point A to point B. Point A might be 300 pounds, or point A might be 100 pounds overweight. We all at different places. It doesn't matter. Wherever your point A is designed to take you from point A to point B. Point B is goal weight, or getting out of that danger zone where you've got life-threatening disease, chronic disease. And I put out this guide, and it's a premium guide, okay? And when I know, if you're not familiar with my guides and stuff, what that means is when we do our challenges, where we do our coach-led challenges, you'll get a guide that comes along with it that's designed to help create guardrails for you during the challenge for this period of time. And they're very detailed. Sometimes I put out guides that are like they're more like segments of a larger guide, right? So you might just get one piece of the guide. We do things differently depending on the outcome. I put together a free premium guide. It's called the 80 and 90. It's designed to help get you from A to B. Lose 80 pounds in 90 days. And it's designed to do it in a way that is seamless. It creates a gradient, okay? But the only way that you can be successful using that guide is if you're consistent. You've got to be consistent. You can't do one thing one day, do something else the next day. I like this part of the guide, but this part of the guide I don't agree with. You need to do the guide as it's outlined, and you need to be consistent. And if you are going, at the end of that 90 days, you're going to be a completely different person. I'm not saying that you're necessarily going to hit your goals, because your goals may be bigger than what the guide is designed for, but it will give you the tools to reach your goal. Right? And people ask me, Chris, what if I don't have 90 pounds or 80 pounds to lose? Cool. Do it until you lose the amount of weight you have to lose. It doesn't matter. It's the skill set that you learn doing this thing over the course of 3 months. That's what's important. Okay? So we've got the 80 and 90 guide. What else? I offer a free membership. It's a free community. Why? Because we had a free community on Facebook. It still exists, but Facebook decided to start censoring creators within their own communities, right? Meaning that if I put a post in my own community on Facebook, nobody sees it. So I said, well, my goal is to reach people. People are here because they want to hear what I have to say. Why would you join my group if you didn't want to hear what I had to say? If there wasn't something that I said that touched you. So I created a free membership that I pay for out of my own pocket. I don't charge you guys for it. All I'm saying is come join. Be a part of it. There's people on the channel. You guys get confused about, how much water should you drink? What type of water should you drink? What should your fast look like? What are you going to experience on a fast? How much weight can you lose on a fast? What type of fast would be the best fast? Can you reverse this disease? Can you reverse that disease? Right? You guys got all these questions. I understand. I've got over 1,000 videos. I don't expect you guys to go through all the videos. So I create a community. Now the community, and the benefit of that is there's literally tens of thousands of other people in there, a large quantity of which have been with us for a long time, and they can help you answer those questions. I'm only one person, and I got like 5-6 other coaches. Other than that, you know what I mean? There's only a few of us. It's 1,000 times more of you all. So I thought, well, if we have a community of people who are like-minded, have been on this weight loss journey, been on this disease reversal journey, been on this health and wellness journey, they can provide insight to other people. And it's a family, it's a community. And this goes back to what I'm talking about as far as mentorship. We need community. We need family. We need other people who want similar outcomes in life. You know, one of the craziest things I hear, I'll have somebody who's like really gung-ho about wanting to lose some weight, reverse diabetes or whatever, right? And they're like, Chris, I saw your videos. I started researching. I got excited. I shared it with my sister. And she was like, that's dumb. You need to go see a doctor. That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You're going to hurt yourself. And it's so disheartening because this person is literally elated. They feel like they found something that's going to change their life. And the people that are closest to them, because they're not on the same path, they're discouraging them. Now, you could say, well, it's because they love them and they care about them and they really do feel like the information is going to harm them. And I'll grant that argument, but have they even looked at the content? Do they even know what they're disputing? Probably not. Probably not. But here's the thing. How much better would it be if that individual who had all that zeal was able to join a community and be a part of a place where there's literally thousands of other people on the same course, of the same mind? How much more beneficial would that be? I think personally, you can't quantify it. When you have a good community, a healthy community of people who enrich each other, listen, there is a biblical reference. There's a scripture that says, where two or more are gathered, I am in the midst. The way I like to look at it is when two or more people are of the same mind, the energy of creation is present. That way it don't got to be a Christianity thing. This is just something that applies to anybody, no matter what your belief system is, whether you're spiritual, whether you're atheist, it doesn't matter. Where two or more are of a singular mind, the energy of creation is there. And what that means is the impossible becomes possible. Impossible is not real. Impossible is a human construct. Impossible is a cap that is put on us by society to keep us in a perfect, neat box. Anything that you can conceptualize, you can bring into this reality. And the reason I understand and know that is because if you can conceptualize it, it means there's a way to bring it into this reality. That's how creation works. Everything starts as a conceptualization in your mind first. Before the iPhone existed, Steve Jobs or whoever he may have gotten the idea from, I don't know, I'm not going to go there, conceptualized a device. Maybe there's something that could fit in your hand that is going to have a calculator, a boombox, a DVD player, and a computer, right? In the palm of your hand. It was a conceptualization in the mind only first. We have seen the impossible happen time and time again, and yet we don't believe that we can be healthy, that we can live a healthy lifestyle. That's insane. That's manipulation at the highest level. That's propaganda at the highest level. I'm not even talking about something that you've never seen done before. We're not even talking about the realm of impossibility. We've seen people come back from devastating experiences in their life to become greatness. We've seen it showcased. You may not have seen it in your personal life with people around you, but we at least have somebody we can point to. We know it's possible. Why not you? What makes you so special that you can achieve that? At the end of the day, when in the game of life, it's a 1v1, right? We could say there's all these other outside sources that are impacting our progress in life, what we're able to achieve, our outcomes. We can make excuses and we could play the victim. But look, at the end of the day, it's 1v1. You versus yourself. That's it. And until you understand that, you're going to look for excuses for why things aren't working out the way you want. I say this all the time. You are the sum total of all of the decisions you've made up until this very moment. If you're not where you want to be in life, it is your fault. You've experienced X. You've experienced Z. You've experienced A and B and C. All things that you might perceive as negative. Well, guess what? Sally down the street has experienced A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Right? Like, we can't use the obstacles that life has thrown at us as an excuse for why we're not successful. Because look, at the end of the day, the most successful people in our reality are the ones who's been through the most. The only difference between those who have been through the most and are successful and those who have been through the most and aren't, the successful people take their obstacles and turn them into step stools, stepping ladders, steps. They step on their obstacles to get higher and higher and higher. That's it. You can either choose to be run over by your obstacle, or you could choose to use it as a stepping stool. It's just one small change. Like, when you look at people, you look at their lives from the outside, and you think, oh, what a great life they have. What a wonderful family they have. You don't see any of the work it took for them to get there. You only see the outcomes. And you see how happy people are, and maybe they don't talk about their journey. Everybody doesn't share their journey. Everybody doesn't talk about what they've been through. Okay? So you look at it like, man, they're just lucky. But that's a bad assumption. I have studied a lot of successful people, and I've had the pleasure of interacting with successful people. I've got some very successful colleagues. And when we get into our interpersonal relationship and we're talking, some of the stuff that these people have been through, when I very first met them, I would have never imagined. I could have never imagined, because the things they went through is nothing like what I went through. And it's not to discredit my journey or my struggle or what I went through. It's just different, because everybody's different. And what you need to grow and be successful is going to be different from the next person. So that's the reason why your life story looks different. But that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because you are unique. You have something special to bring to this reality. No one is you, no one ever has been you, and no one ever will be you. That means that you have a special, unique perspective here and now that you can share with the world. And you can make this world a better place through your perseverance. I know a lot of times we're worried about ourselves, and that's fine. You know, you've got obstacle A in front of you, and that's all you're worried about. I'm just trying to hurdle this thing. You're not thinking about the crowd on the sidelines watching you run the race. And that's fine. But maybe it gives you encouragement to know that when you do well, people watch. People see. They're encouraged by you. My brother John, who's one of our coaches, it might have been 8 years ago or so. He came to me one day and he was like, man, Chris, I'm so inspired by you. Like, I look up to you so much. You're so strong. I've seen you go through X, Y, and Z. I don't know how you came out on the other side. I look at you in awe, and I'm just like, what? Completely oblivious. Now, he's my little brother, so maybe I might have, should have, I don't know. But our interaction has never been at that level where he's like, man, Chris, man, I'm just so proud of what you're doing. Like, I'm always watching. He's never told me that. So I'm completely oblivious. He literally blindsided me with this. It was one of the best things anybody's ever told me. And obviously I didn't do anything because I knew he was watching. I did it for me. You know, my life My life was in shambles. Like, I had to get it together. I had to figure it out. I had to be strong for me because I have goals and there's things I want out of life. I wasn't doing it to show off for anybody else, but it really meant a lot to know that somebody was watching, saw what I did, and was proud of me. And then as I moved on in the future, I did always keep that in the back of my mind. I'm like, failure is not an option, because it's like, I'm not just doing this for me. There are people that are watching me that take inspiration from what I do. And there's people that's watching you. There's somebody that's taking inspiration from what you do and say. And understand, inspiration doesn't always have to be a good thing. You can inspire someone to do something bad, just like I was saying when we were comparing the ladies and the men that are on the street corner versus the lady and the men that are in the community teaching and uplifting. Both are able to inspire that child. So then the question becomes, is there anybody in your life that you are inspiring? And what are you inspiring them to do and become? And that might give you a little bit more motivation. But ultimately, I do think it's important to make these changes for yourself, because motivation, willpower, these are just spark plugs. They just ignite the fuel. You know, you've got to have a desire. You have to have a passion to want to be better. Oftentimes, that means you got to set your pride to the side. People are so prideful. They're so prideful. They think they know it all. They feel like the problem is somebody else. No, the problem is you. The problem is always you. I tell people, you take you everywhere you go. If you feel like you ain't met that person for you, you need to go to a different state or a different country, you take you everywhere you go. There are good people everywhere. I have literally lived, when it comes to like the Midwest to East Coast of the United States, I've lived everywhere. I've lived in like 10 different states. I've moved more than 60 times. I've lived all over. I've lived in low-class communities, middle-class communities, upper-class communities. I found good people everywhere I went, and I found bad people everywhere I went, right? So I think the reality of it is you attract what you are. You also attract what you put your energy into. And what I want to do is I want to create a space where there's a group of people who are putting energy into something positive, right? Something that's going to be beneficial. Right now, I am preparing to launch our next challenge, our next fasting challenge. I want to be clear. The 80 and 90 is available right now, today. It is a go at your own pace. It's not one of our coach-led challenges. It is a free challenge with a premium guide. You can also buy the physical copy of the challenge if you want to have like the physical guide, and also you get an accountability calendar where you could literally track your progress day by day. So you guys can also get that, right? But what I'm talking about now is we have our coach-led challenge coming up. We just ended our DR48 Advanced. People were, man, the DR48 Advanced was incredible because people really documented their journey. I think the non-scale victories were off the chart. But also we saw some crazy BMIs. We saw some crazy weight loss. We saw some incredible disease reversal and things of that nature. So it was just an overall amazing experience. But I want to hear from you all. What's the next challenge we should do? Okay. I've got 2 places where you can go and vote for the next challenge. I've got a community post here on YouTube where you can vote for the next challenge. But what I would prefer for you all to do is click the link, join AHA communities, and vote inside AHA communities. We've got voting going on in there as well. I'm going to combine the 2 votes, and we're going to look at which is going to be our next challenge, which we will probably be announcing here in the next week or 2. So if you guys are ready to stop making excuses, if you're ready to seek that mentorship, if you're ready to apply good wisdom, then I want you to do this one thing. Vote, come join our community, and prepare, because we're about to knock it out of the park to end the summer. We got a lot more left, at the end, you know, as we cross to the end of this year. I've got some pretty exciting things coming up for you guys, but one step at a time, day by day. Let's do the next thing. The next challenge is coming. Come be a part of it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time. Peace.